Konbanwa! Hello, good evening. It is 10 p.m. in Japan. It is very early and probably in the daytime where you are in the world, unless you're in Japan like me. I hope you're doing well. Let's adjust the hair, should we? You know what? I tell you, and this is no diss to my man Hiko, who's coming up next at 11 p.m., but I do still have hair. I'm 46, and you look around, you know, a lot of guys my age are worried about the thinning hair, and my hair is pretty. I know it. You know, I mean, I obviously cut it really short because it's freaking hot here in the summer. But my hair is pretty okay. My dad still has some hair, and he's just almost 80, so I figure I'm okay in that department. Of course, I've got the Reed Richards gray thing happening here, and you can't see it behind me, but I'm sure you've seen it in videos. I don't know if I move my ear there. It kind of does the whole band around the back of my neck, and Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. Should I have a, you know, non-geeka Jimaku, and he's distinctive for having this kind of band of gray. But of course, in the new movie, which hasn't come out yet, they're doing a new Fantastic Four movie that's going to come out this summer in America. I don't know when it's coming out in Japan. He's like, you know, 25 or something, so he really shouldn't have this. It'll be interesting to see if they give it to him for some reason. All right, let me do the normal fandangling. Fandangling, you like that word? I like that word. To see if people are here. Starkey's here. All right. Hold on. Let me let me adjust. Okay. I see myself on YouTube. I see comments. I hope. I've got 3 people watching. Hello, 3 people. And Myargonauts on Facebook and Twitter. I've tweeted out the links. So I think I can. Ben Duncan, I think, was the person who was wanting me to, how should I say, Ben wanted me to put up the video earlier so more people can know about it and join the crowd, as it were, and start comments, etc. And I wasn't sure whether that would be able to happen because I just do a Google Hangout. I don't use any special equipment or anything. I've got like an iSight FaceTime camera in my MacBook Pro, and it's really lo-fi here. But you know, cheers! I'm on time and I'm on the air. You know, as opposed to some people we know. I really must say, you know, as much as I love Hiko, I was getting frustrated the other night when they were trying to have on some bodacious babe. And I tuned in about 10:20 for a 10:30 start. And then we were on Jupiter with Victor, and then we were trying to do Skype. And I think it was something to do with her connection and her ability to connect to the internet. But I think it was about 11:15, like 45 minutes later before they even started, and I bailed. But anyway, I don't know if it was interesting. I haven't gone back and watched the video yet. I did see that he posted one all in Japanese with her. So that's interesting, especially if you're learning Japanese. And now I see he goes in the comments taking umbrage with my with some of my comments. I don't know if he's talking, if I'm still talking. See, there's a lag. In real time, I'm seeing the comments from about, I don't know, 2 minutes ago. I don't know. So, no, we love you, Hiko. I don't have my Tokyo Tonight shirt on tonight. I did last week, though. But he's moving house this week and stuff. You got to give him a little bit of slack. You know, when you're a big star like that, you know. So, oh, actually, one of my topics tonight, let's just get right into it, is YouTube related. And I was very interested this week when I got a video. I subscribed to Rachel and June, who are a delightful couple. If you don't subscribe to them, please do. They don't need you to, but they are delightful. They make delightful videos. Japanese man married to an American woman, and they get literally thousands and thousands of views on a lot of their videos. you know, well over 100,000 views. So when I saw that they were going to do Patreon, at first I was a little taken aback. And here's why. Because I know a little bit about what kind of money you can make on YouTube. Not when you get up into the Rachel and June, Victor, Eric Surf 6 numbers. I mean, I really don't know what that's like. But I mean, I have an idea based on what I make, you know, based on my views, et cetera, et cetera. And I figured, you know, they make a decent chunk of cash just off their videos. And I was about to leave a comment kind of like, really, guys, do you need to do this? Don't you get enough from the views alone, et cetera, et cetera? And then I went and I said, okay, and I watched 2 of their videos. Because when you watch videos, you don't necessarily pay attention to the ads. If you're like most people, they come up, you click on the X, they go away, and that's that. But I noticed that on the 2 videos I watched and then one other one later, that comment, they didn't have any ads. So maybe they don't do ads at all, and they never have. In that case, Patreon, sure, because obviously, you know, nobody's forcing you to go do it. You know, and they made it pretty clear in the video where they were asking, they're like, don't feel obligated, you know, blah blah blah. And you know, who does? But they were trying to be very nice about it, because it is weird. It's weird asking people that you don't know for money. And I've had to do it a few times here, and people have always been super kind to me about it. So I know how odd it is. I currently only support 2 people in Patreon, and that's one is Victor, just because I think he does so much. You know, it's just so much content. Now, I don't support him per video. That would be insane. Nobody should do that. I support him with just $3 a month. I think I'm in that like a $3 a month tier. So what do I give him? I give him $36 a year out of my pocket into his, because I think he does good work and he's out there doing his best. Lucas, thank you for that. Starkey, I'll get to your question soon. Hello, everyone. Oh, we have 2 Lucases. We have a Lucas Neo 91. Hello, and then we have Lucas Musser, who's got to go and work. Ben wants money from all 37 of his subscribers on Patreon. Please go give him money. Anyway, so you know, they haven't put ads, and then they made some good points. You know, they want to travel. They like going to these artisan Nihon, you know, culture, Japanese culture artisan workshops and stuff like that. And of course, you know, they should come to Shimane. Come to Shimane. And no, you know, and so it makes sense. I'd be interested to see how much they get. You know, they have a whole lot of viewers, and it's interesting too. My guess is that a lot of their viewers are younger, and it'd be interesting to see if, you know, people with younger viewers get money comparable to, say, Victor, who I think has slightly older viewers. And I'm not talking about you know across the range. There's obviously a range, but I'm just saying. My guess is Rachel and June skew in the teens and 20s, and Victor skews more in the 20s and 30s and 40s. But I recently did something similar on my Sumo channel, because on my Sumo channel, I've never been able to put ads. And so somebody was just like, don't, you know, I didn't want to do Patreon because the Sumo content is technically not mine. You know, it's still, I'm pointing my camera at something that NHK produces. But they said, just open a tip jar. Just open a tip jar, PayPal, and let people send you money if they want to. And I thought I would get a couple $100, you know, $10 here, $5 there over the course of the 15-day basho. And I got well more than that. And so I was very blown away by people's generosity and just how much they appreciate. Because, you know, when you send something on PayPal, you can often leave a comment. Blown away by people, not only, you know, how much they appreciate me putting the Sumo videos up for them to watch, but how much variety of places that they're from. You know, all over Europe, Canada, North America, Mongolia, Australia, South Africa. I mean, it's really crazy. And finally, the sumo people have sort of, kind of caught on a little bit. They've been really behind the time when it comes to technology, the Sumo Association. But they finally put out an app where you can kind of buy that basho for $5. And it's not great, but it's better than nothing. And oddly enough, I might go home to America in September, so I will use that app. I will try it and be a guinea pig and see what it's like, because I don't think I'm going to be, well, I might be able to pay the money and just get it on my TV, because in California we're lucky. We can get a station called TV Japan. Okay, other topics. So Patreon, what do you guys think about it? I'm never going to do it for Myargonauts, don't worry. Oh, the other person I support other than Victor is Ami Yamato. Is that how you say her name? The woman in London who does animation. And I just think she's brilliant, and Hiko, supports her too. And, that to me, it's like, I sometimes turn a camera on my face, click a button, talk for 10 minutes, click another button, and then send it to YouTube. And sometimes I have interesting things to say, and other times maybe not so much. But she, she does real work. I mean, that takes skill and patience and craft and time, which is really the thing, isn't it, to do. So her, I actually do $2 per video, and it's turned out to be fine, because she still only makes about one video a month, it seems like. She can't quite get beyond that. This is my Akira bat shirt. Can you see that? So based, oh, here, I can actually show you, I think, the cover. Yeah. And that's Akira. And that's katakana Akira. And then this is mine that says the bat. So the two, the motorcycle and the bat pod. Anyway, if you've never seen Akira, Akira is like, gosh, I don't know. It's just, it's the movie that kind of started it all for a lot of anime fanatics. And anime, did I say that right? Yeah. And it's one of the only ones that I really like. Whoa, look at my belly. You could really see my belly there when I stretch back. It came out like 1988, so it predates a lot of other stuff. And the guy who did it is a guy named Otomo-san, and he drew a really extensive manga of this movie before it became an animated movie. And it is just, it's otherworldly, it's surreal, it's exciting, it's got good characters, it's amazing music. It's just it's the kind of thing where I was 18 or 19 years old when I first saw it, and you grow up on Disney animation and stuff, and now kids, I mean, are so used to Japanese animation, and not just, like Sailor Moon and Pokemon, but I mean good Japanese animation. It can't be as revelatory for them. But when I sat down and I watched this for the first time, you're just blown away by the detail and the contemporariness. So much of Disney and stuff, it's like Robin Hood and Sleeping Beauty and Pinocchio and even some of the more modern stuff. It's like talking animals, or it's weird. Like Australia for Rescuers Down Under, I think, was one that was coming out. I mean, this is before, we're talking before Little Mermaid and The Lion King and Aladdin, the Renaissance. And so Disney, this was like, motorcycles on the streets of modern Tokyo. And it was, I mean, it's R-rated in American parlance, and it's violent, and I can't recommend it enough if you've never seen it. So yeah, get Akira. I've owned this so many different formats. I have a wonderful Criterion Laserdisc of it that I've never sold or given away, and this Blu-ray is really nice as well. So anyway, so that's my shirt this week. Let's see if I've somebody asked me a question back here. Stucky asked me a question. Sorry, let me get back to that really quick. Starkey, not Stucky. See, I always call him Stucky. Why do I do that? I don't know. Because Starkey, you think, Ringo Starr, Starkey, Richard Starkey, I'd be all down for that. Have I watched Kung Fury yet? No. I've watched pieces of it, and I've seen the trailer, and I want to watch it, but for some reason I haven't sat down and given it 30 minutes yet. So I will. Probably this week. If you've been following my Facebook feed, you know I've been just ass to ankles busy at my work. I'm trying to put out a 24-page magazine for the school, and it only happens once a year. And when it happens, I just went in today and literally sat in a chair and stared at a screen for 5 hours. I know it doesn't sound that terrible, but for me, it's just awful. Part of being a teacher, the cool thing about being a teacher is you get to go to a classroom and interact with students and stand up and walk around. And my classes are kind of 45 minutes, and then all the students switch, and then I do another 45 minutes. So for me to be kind of quote unquote chained to a desk, but not be able to goof off, have to not like go on Facebook, not play Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is on my desktop at the moment, because I know I have a deadline and I have to get this work done. It's just the worst. Anyway, all right. Dun, dun, dun. Hiko. Hiko, do you do Patreon if you're still out there in the audience? I don't know that you do. I don't think you do. All anime now is pantsu? I don't know about that. I mean, I think I talked about this a little bit where I bought the Blu-ray for Attack on Titan, which is the big, anime at the moment. And I got it from America, and we share a region, but they block the Japanese or the subtitled ability if you try to play the American DVD in Japan. So all I could do was watch it dubbed in English, and I hate watching anime dubbed. And the dubbing, actually, the voice of the main male actor really turned me off, and I couldn't do it. So, yeah. Now I'm seeing that my little feed is giving the circle of death over here. I wonder if I'm still okay. All right, let me see some of the comments here. Frozen here. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. How do I unfreeze? Ah, there we go. I'm back. I think so. Okay. Oh no, frozen again. Stop freezing. I'm trying to. Ah. Okay. I'm going to put up a new poster, by the way. Some of you have probably stared at that same background now that have come every week. I got a cool Star Wars newspaper here. So I think I'm going to put up like a Millennium Falcon thing over there. Because nerd cred. Like I need to be more nerdy. My sister is amazed that I'm 45 and I have all this nerd crap in my house. And I'm like, I'm the only one that ever comes here, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, so what I was watching this week was Orange is the New Black. This is season 2. And I was really impressed with season 2. I don't know if you watched season 1, if you know about this show. I believe in America it's available on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, which we hopefully will get in Japan soon. And I watched season 1 and really liked it, and so I waited until the Blu-ray came out for season 2. I didn't want to pirate it or anything. And I was amazed how much they expanded on the background of all the characters, like all their backstories. And the villain of the season was really well made, really well done, really well portrayed. And I just can't say enough good things about this show. So if you like well-made dramas, now of course it's not for everyone. I mean, there's a lot of lesbian sex in it. There's a lot of bad language. I mean, some people object to these kind of things, so if that's not for you, then be careful. But yeah, just a well-made show. It's interesting that I'm into the point where I love this and like Walking Dead and like Game of Thrones and like there's such different shows, but it just shows you how much good stuff is on TV nowadays. So I know season 3 is happening or about to happen, and I might have to pirate it. I don't know if I can wait. But I know Game of Thrones is finishing tonight, Sunday night in America. And I usually wait for the Blu-ray sets of that just because I like the quality, etc. All right. $25 viewers, yay! How many thumbs up? Can I go down? No thumbs up, you guys suck. I don't know. I said that kind of loud. My neighbors don't. I don't really have a neighbor. I'm in a 4-unit apartment on the 2nd floor, so I don't really have any neighbor on any side of me. I only have a neighbor below, and they're a really old couple, and they're way asleep by now. But anyway, all right. Kokodayo has a question. I'm the question. I'm ready. Come on. I work in Tokyo and have helped hire some of the Netflix Japan team. Yay! Walking Dead is amazing. I've been a Walking Dead fan, though, since like 2005 when I started reading the comic book. I think I caught on to the comic book about a year after it came out. And so, yeah, I was so primed for that show to come out and do well, and it did. And I'm really happy with some of the directions they've taken on that show and some of the other characters they've introduced, some of the different things they've done. I just think it's so well made. There's going to be a spin-off show this year, which I'm really looking forward to. I would love to see, for instance, like what's happening in Walking Dead world in Japan, what's happening in other places. And they're going to do a little bit of that in the spin-off, although they're going to mainly focus on like what happened right as the epidemic was taking place and everything was going to shit. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. What else is coming up? Mad Max Fury Road finally opens in Japan this coming up Saturday, so in about a week. Hopefully I'll be done with the magazine by Friday. Cross my fingers. And, I had to work yesterday and today, Saturday and Sunday, so I'm really hoping that I can go to the movies next weekend. Other big thing going on right now, oh, I guess I should probably have to refresh. Yeah, okay, so I should take back the you suck. You guys don't suck. Then let me refresh here. Boom, boom. 23 watching. And 17 thumbs. Okay, well, you guys are awesome. So I take back all the suckage. Okay. Let's see if... Let it go. Frozen joke. See, and that doesn't even make sense in Japan because the name of that movie is not Frozen. There you go. Okay. Did Kokodayo ever ask his question? Let me get back here. Vikings. Oh, Viking. I'm like, the Minnesota Vikings. Really? You like that team? And then I realized he's talking about the TV show Vikings. I tried to watch Vikings. It wasn't my cup of tea. So, okay, cool. People thumbed. Do you have a garden? What would I grow in my garden? No, I don't have a garden. I have a balcony outside, but there's nothing on my... Some people put their futon on their balcony, but I don't. So I don't have a futon anymore. I sleep on a bed. So no, I don't have a garden. I wouldn't... What would I barely eat vegetables. I wouldn't know what to grow. I need to ask how to apply to being an ALT and JET when I'm not in my home country. For example, I'm from the Philippines and currently I'm in Italy. I'd like to know how to apply, Kokodayo. Well, luckily, to answer your question, you can apply for JET from anywhere. So for instance, a lot of jets come over, for instance, and one jet is a jet. And the spouse is not a jet. and then the spouse sees what a cushy gig it is and wants to get in on the action. So they apply to JET. They're living in Japan, but they have to apply back to the UK or America or wherever they're from. And luckily now you can do, it's everything's online. You upload everything online, your application, and there are a few things that you have to send in by mail, letters of recommendation, etc. But a lot of the application is now, I mean, I think you print out, you fill it all in and then you print it out and you sign a bunch of stuff, and you still have to send a packet in. If you're in America, for instance, to Washington, D.C. In the Philippines, it might be Manila, for instance. So you can easily apply from a different country. Now, you would have to be in contact with the people who are writing your letters of recommendation. One of them is usually a former professor, depending on how recently you were in school, etc. And you have to get transcripts and things like that. So, it can cost more when you're not in your home country, because you can't just drive to your university, say, if it was in your hometown like mine was, and get what you need. You have to, do a lot of things by email and mail. But it's certainly very doable. You just really need to be on top of it. I mean, literally start doing it in like September or October for sure. Start writing your statement of purpose early. And then the one thing you do have to do, though, that can be costly is if you get accepted and get the interview, you have to interview in the country that you're going to represent. So people like, for instance, like I said, my friend Trevor, his wife Signe, she wanted to be a JET. She applied from Japan, didn't get in, applied the next year, got in, got the interview, and she had to fly back to Washington State and maybe Seattle, I think, was where the consulate was, and interview in Seattle. So that can be costly. So you just have to be aware that at some point, if you get the interview and you're close to getting the job, you will have to fly back to the Philippines to do that. And then you can go back to Italy if you're finishing up a job or whatever it is, and await, the letter that will come that will say whether or not you got in or not. Now, of course, you can put all of your addresses, your home address and everything, as, say, your parents' house in the Philippines, if you have a reliable address in your home country where they can send everything, and somebody will check it, obviously, and keep it. And if you don't have that, you might have to put the address that you're currently at in Italy, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, anyway, it's very possible. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's way more doable now than it was, say, when I first applied in 2003. I can't believe I applied, what's that, 12 years ago now. So, it's changed a lot. But the only other thing that there is, and I don't know if this is if you get the interview, like you're in the second stage, because it wasn't a requirement. I know in America there's some kind of like FBI background check, which they do. Like I was going to substitute teach children, and they do that just to make sure you're not like, on the pedophile list or the rapist list or whatever that is. And I think there's a doctor, like you have to get a medical checkup that says you don't have tuberculosis, and maybe one other something. Like you have to get the stick, the TB stick. Anyway, so I don't know if it has to be a doctor in your home country, though, or if it can be any, any certified physician. So you could go somewhere in Italy and get it done or not. That's a good question. It's very doable, so don't worry. Good luck. I hope you have good success with that. We'd love to have more people from the Philippines here in Japan. All right. Christopher asks, is it Winter Kingdom? Boy, I don't know what that is about. So ask again, Christopher, with more detail. I don't know what you're talking about. Ah, Kron, that's actually very interesting, the zombie scenario in Japan, because there's so few handguns and stuff around. That's true. There's a lot of military bases people could break into, I guess. And there's some self-defense force places. But yeah, that's true. In general, the population of people that would have a gun to defend themselves would be really low, although obviously they make good use of hatchets and crossbows and stuff like that. They could just fly drones into them, you know. Yeah, that does make it interesting. Yeah, Ben, don't talk to me about football stadiums, okay? I'm a San Diego Charger fan, and it is just a shitstorm right now with what they're doing for the frickin' Chargers. You know, are they going to have a stadium that's like not even in San Diego that we share with like our nemesis, the Oakland Raiders? You know, so it's really ugly, and I'm going to hear all about it. I'm sure if I go home this September, it'll be football preseason, et cetera, et cetera, and yeah. All right, air it out. Oh, Winter Garden. Okay, now I'm a little behind on the comments. I'm uncertain to understand. Yeah, people put out their futons to air them out, get them in the sun. The sun hitting them kills the little dust mites and stuff. So yeah, you see them especially not so much right now in June because it's kind of rainy season, and it can rain really easily. Anyway. I do not sound like Dick Van Dyke with that accent. Don't insult my accent that much. Dick Van Dyke's accent in Mary Poppins is atrocious. It's a better accent than that. Avocado Gaming. I have been live since 10 o'clock. I am on time, my friend. 27 minutes. Daniel has an exact, he's got the, okay, go. Oh, we got to stop. Stoppage time for a thing. All right, so stoppage time. Starkey, I'll get to your question in a minute. We've got to talk a little bit about Women's World Cup. Here they are on the front page. So they're in the weird yellow uniforms. That's their, I guess, their away uniform when they beat Cameroon. In their match on Saturday Japan time. So they are pretty much guaranteed to go through now, and a very good chance of coming out number one in their group. They have 6 points on 2 wins. They were the only team to win their first 2 matches until Brazil won their match today. And so only them and Brazil won their first 2 matches. So it's looking good for Team Nadeshiko. That's their nickname. And they have another match, which is at like 6 a.m., which normally would be a bother. I get up for work really early on Wednesdays anyway, so now I'm just deciding, am I going to try to do that thing where like I watch the game live, shower at halftime at like 6:45 a.m., like eat breakfast while I'm watching, blah, 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 and try to work it all out before I go to work at like 8:15, or should I just go about my normal morning routine and just tape the game and watch it at my leisure? When I get home from work, unfortunately, of course, I might have heard whether they won or lost by then. So it's always like that whole thing. NHK is doing an okay job of showing other matches. Like today, they showed the Korean match, which is understandable. There's a lot of Koreans that live in Japan. But like they haven't shown a single England match. They've shown one of the 2 American matches. They're not showing a ton. But once it gets to the next round where it's like the knockout stage, and there's less matches every day, I think they'll pretty much start to show all of them. But that's been a little disappointing. Like, they're actually not playing any games Sunday in Canada. What is it, the 14th? Which is kind of ridiculous to me. It's like you're trying to get fans to come and watch this huge sporting event. Let's have matches on Sunday, okay, when people are off work and can go to the stadium and buy a ticket. But yeah, they took Sunday off. So Monday here in Japan, tomorrow, there's no matches. They could then, show some of these matches, that are old, but they chose not to do that. So there's no coverage tomorrow at all. All right. Can you explain the difference between a prefectural and municipal, what is it? Oh, gosh. Comments. Okay. A prefectural municipal jet. I don't know exactly what those words mean. I think a prefectural jet means that you work at a high school, that you're hired by the prefecture and not by a local board of government. And there's so many fewer high schools in any given region, if you want to call a prefecture a region, assuming that you understand what a prefecture is, it's like a state in the United States, except they're obviously very small. There's so many fewer high schools than there are, say, elementary or junior high schools, that they all tend to be run by a centralized body, probably in the capital. Like in Shimane, it was Matsue. So all the high school ALTs are kind of assigned to their one high school, and they're hired by the prefecture, and they have a liaison, a supervisor that actually is a teacher at that school. As opposed to me, like me and many other ALTs, you're a, if this is the term now, I don't know, municipal jet is meaning that you work for a board of education in a town, and they are able to place you in one or more, usually more, schools in their town that need an ALT. So for instance, in Izumo, there were like 9 junior high schools, and at various points there was 3 ALTs for those 9 schools. There was 5. I think at one point we had 7 ALTs for those 9 schools when they were really spending money. So and I was at first employed by tiny little Taisha town, 16,000 people, little village here on the Sea of Japan. And I had 1 junior high, the one in town, and then I had like 5 elementary schools though that I went out to. So that's the basic difference. And then Izumo gobbled up Taisha Town, and I became part of the Izumo Board of Education. And you have a liaison, a supervisor, if you will, that works for the BOE. That's usually a woman. It's almost always a woman. I don't know why. She will speak various amounts of English, and she sometimes that's what she does. It's like it's a part-time job. Maybe she's a mom or a former teacher or something, and she will help all the ALTs, get paid, get to where they're supposed to be, get settled in, leave when they have to leave, take care of vacation days and this and that and blah blah blah. And so that's the difference. It's not somebody at one of your schools when you're a Board of Education jet. How hard is it to get a university position in Japan? Thinking about going to graduate schooling and getting an MPA. I don't know what an MPA is. If that's a term, avocado gaming, for a master's degree, that's a good thing. A master's degree will certainly ease your ability to get a university teaching gig. If you're talking about an MBA, a master's of business, that's a slightly higher level degree. My former girlfriend got one of those at UCLA. And that doesn't really, you wouldn't spend 2 years getting an MBA and then want to be an ESL teacher. So my guess is you're meaning a master's. Yeah, if you can get a master's, there's everything that comes into play. How much teaching experience have you had? Where did you teach? Was it junior high level, high school level? Was it in America? Was it in Japan? What's your master's in? How many times have you been published? Do you speak Japanese? How well do you speak Japanese? All these things come into play for how hireable you are. And then you've got to further subdivide that down into where do you want to live? Do you want to live near Tokyo? Okay, well, the competition is going to be much higher. Do you want to live in Osaka? Or, if you don't mind living out where I live in the boonies, then you're going to have more choices, but maybe lower pay or blah blah blah. So I don't think it's really that hard to get a university teaching degree, especially if you have a master's degree. But they're the kind of gigs that a lot of people here get and hold on to. They don't necessarily. It's not turning over all the time like Jet is. I've had my gig now for 5 years, and I don't really plan on leaving. I might move to a different city. I don't know. So, it's hard sometimes, and I don't have a master's. So, definitely, if you know someone, if you come as a jet and then you get to know someone at the university level, that can be helpful. All right. Hiko Simon, were you really born in 1975? You're the same age as my brother then. My brother's going to be 40 this December. That's so weird to me. Like my younger brother, little pipsqueak I used to bully and kick around. No, I was a nice older brother, actually, for the most part. But he's going to be 40 years old. Makes me feel old. And then my older sister is 51 on Tuesday. Her birthday is on the 16th. So it's like, yeah, we're just all old now. It's crazy. Check it, 414 Yahoo. Yo. That's a weird screen name, dude. I don't know. Do you guys remember that Australian movie called Yahoo Serious? There's a tangent. That movie was like huge for like 6 months. I don't know why. And everybody was like, "Oh, is it gonna play in America? You know, is it gonna be the next Crocodile Dundee or whatever?" Nobody cared in America. It was just like nothing, you know. But yeah, sometimes people are ahead of their time. Look at UHF, the Weird Al movie. Brilliant. It's a brilliant film. And yet at the time, I mean, it came out the same weekend as Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I didn't think it was going to win the weekend. But if you like Weird Al, you know who Weird Al is and you're interested. Or if you're a big Seinfeld fan and you like Kramer, you should see UHF because it's a really funny movie. Just jumping in. Probably can't stay long because I'm Busan Kevin, man. I'm on the go. I'm running. I got 2 kids. I got things to do. I got a podcast to make. I got to download this. Right now, live vids like this are my bag baby. Is that the Austin Powers? I was about to say my tea bag, and that's not right. So I recently saw this thing on Rolling Stone online, the top 25 movies of the 80s, and it was such an atrocious list and left off so many important movies in the 80s. I mean, Princess Bride wasn't on there, Tootsie, Terminator, Aliens. It was so bad. I really want to get Mully on because Mully and I are both Americans and we're about the same age. And I think we kind of grew up and then, you know, obviously our interests diverged, I think, in the 80s. You know, he got into heavy metal and blah, blah, blah. And I'm more a Britpop guy, etc. But yeah, I'd like to get him on and just talk about the 80s one night. Some of the best movies and music and see what we agree on and what we disagree on. But man, it was a bad list. So some of the movies, of course, completely, they deserve to be on there. You know, Breakfast Club was #1, which I love The Breakfast Club, but it would not be my top movie of the 80s. That, of course, would have to be The Empire Strikes Back if we're going 80 to 89 as the decade. And then, you know, there's even more movies that would be above Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club would be my top 10 of the 80s, but it wouldn't be #1. Okay. I was conceived in 75. Oh, God. I'm losing it. Damn it. I'm having Hiko disease, where I can't see the comments like I want to. Come on, comments. But born in 86. Ben Duncan. All right. La 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 la. Can you believe that dress thing became such a huge fucking deal? Like, which way you see this picture on the internet? And I was like looking down on my phone. Yeah, I see both. You know, I get it. Yeah, and it was like on Ellen. I mean, it was on everywhere. The internet stopped literally to talk about whether this dress was blue and black or white and gold. I could not believe, you know, it's just such a weird world we live in now. Oh, the Frozen title in Japanese, Christopher, yeah, somebody else mentioned it. It's called Anna and the Snow Queen. Anna to, what's that? Yuki no Hime? Or Yuki Hime? I don't know if there's a no in there, the possessive no. So yeah, they don't, you know, like if you say ratatouille, it's Remy no Restaurant. If you say up, it's Carl Oji-san. Old Man Carl is the name of that movie in Japan. A lot of animated movies get renamed here. Not so much big movies like with live action people, but a lot of the animated movies get renamed here. All right. Master's in public administration. Oh, so it is a master's degree. Okay. Public administration, though, I don't know. Usually, obviously, if you want to teach English, they're looking for a master's in education or English, or you can even get, you can get them now in teaching English as a second language or foreign language, EFL, ESL. Busan Kevin's in the house. If he still is, he's getting his master's, or he got his master's recently. He can tell you what he got his in. But yeah, to make yourself more employable. I don't really know what public administration is. That's one of those vague terms. It's like my university. A lot of the kids study policy studies. What the fuck does that mean? My university upsets me sometimes because it's like so wishy-washy on certain things, and it's like that is like the worst thing to like tell kids. This is what you're majoring in, because it means nothing. Give them something more concrete. Okay, check it. 1414 Yahoo wants to know about the sports industry in Japan. Does Japan have scalpers selling tickets outside for Sumo? Good question. I don't think so. I don't think there's a guy like, that's outside the football game saying, hey, I got ringside, come on here, one man. I mean, recently for Sumo, there was no need. There was never selling, there was never anybody selling out. Somebody might be able to answer, Hiko or one of the other people. There might be sites online where you can go and sell and resell tickets to events, concerts, festivals, sporting events. I don't know how much it's done. I obviously would be oblivious to it when I'm walking in, because they would be yelling in Japanese or saying things in Japanese, etc. And so I honestly, I don't know. I can ask around though. Yeah. And that's a good question. I've never really thought about it. All right. Thank you, Kron. Okay, Yahoo Serious was not the movie. See, the mind is going. The movie was called Young Einstein. That's it. Yahoo Serious was the actor. Yeah, okay. All right, my bad. My apologies to the Young Einstein fan. Anyway, Jets are coming. I got about 10 minutes left before Hiko's show. Hiko, are you doing a show? If you're in the audience, let me know. Are you taking a week off because of moving? Anyway, and Jets are coming. So I'm starting to get some questions. If you have some questions, feel free. I've made a lot of videos about, how much money you should bring, what you should pack, what you should expect when you first get here, what your first month is going to be like. So do try to find those videos on my channel, search keywords, look around. I know some of them are dated now. I mean, I made them in 2008, 2009, 2010, and that feels like a long time ago, but the basic information hasn't changed that much. People go on the Facebook page for the Jet group that I'm currently associated with, and they still ask the same, how much money do I need to bring for the first month? And it really varies, etc. But the more you can bring, the better. You can always save it if you don't spend it. At least $1,000 American. I always say 10 mon, which now with the exchange rate is what only about 800 American will get you 10 mon. But yeah, I mean, if you can bring 1,000 American, which is like 12 mon, I think that would be plenty to get you to that first paycheck. Be able to buy some stuff, do some traveling, etc. in those first few weeks when you get here before you start getting a paycheck. It just depends how much you want to do when you very first arrive. Do you want to try to get a car? Do you want to take a major vacation or something? I don't know. So, but anyway, yeah, if you have those kind of questions, leave them on the Facebook page, Myargonauts on FB, and I'll try to address them here in a video. I don't mind talking about them again, but yeah, I've made those videos, and like I said, the information's fairly solid. What you need to pack, it's going to be hot as fuck when you first get here, but you do need to bring some business casual attire. You're going to meet the mayor, you're going to meet the head of your BOE, You're going to meet, you know, the teachers that are there in the summertime. You're going to make some introductions like that. So you need to dress nicely a few times, and then hopefully you can dress more casually, you know, other times. When you're in Tokyo, you can certainly dress casually, but when you get on the plane or the bus or whatever that's going to take you to your prefecture, you should look nice for when you get off the plane, because most likely someone's going to greet you from your Board of Education. And, you know, first impressions are important, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't necessarily need to wear a suit, though. It's so hot, and they know, you know, or at least if you wear a suit, you know, take off the jacket and, you know, put it, you know, over the bar of your luggage or something. Anyway, I can go on and on. Just like here in North America, when you go for hockey or basketball, Jason, you're saying that sumo is getting more and more popular and basho sold out. Check it, yes. I tried to get tickets to the Nagoya basho, which is coming up in July, and I used a ticket agency, which charges a small surcharge, but they buy tickets for you. And they barely were able to get me a good seat for the middle Sunday. All the weekends sold out almost instantly, and a lot of the weekdays are selling out. And usually the basho, the sumo tournaments that are not in Tokyo, it's very easy to get tickets. And it's not the case anymore. Sumo is definitely on the rise. The last 4 or 5 basho have sold out like every day. And so it's been a long time since that's happened. So you can't just necessarily, you know, roll up to a konbini on the day you want to go to a basho and expect to get a ticket, unless you want to sit, you know, maybe in a single, you know, bucket seat, you know, nosebleed in the upper area. Although, you know, there's not, you know, anything nosebleed. That's an exaggeration. There's nothing that far away from the Tokyo in the Sumo stadiums that I've been to. But anyway, yeah, you have to plan ahead a little bit. And I bought my ticket literally the first day. And if I had waited just 2 or 3 days, Nakabi day 8, where I'm going, the middle Sunday would have been sold out. I mean, except for probably random, you know, 1 single tickets up in the single seats. So yeah, I was glad that I did that. Okay, so Hiko is setting up, so he's going on in about 8 minutes. So we will go over there in just a moment. Let me see if I can wrap up here. 32 people watching. I don't think that's a record. I think I had 40 one time. But yeah, that's great. The 32 of you are watching now. I appreciate it. I got my new Entertainment Weeklies. So there's Punky Chris Pratt. Now, how many of you went to see Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, I should say, this weekend? Don't really tell me about it. I'm hearing mixed things on the internet. I don't want to really read the reviews because I do want to go see it when it opens here, but it doesn't open here until like August. I've got over I've got like a 2-month wait, I think. But yeah, so did you go see it? It had an incredible opening Friday, like $80 million in one day. Melissa McCarthy on the cover of something else. And I haven't even read these yet, so I don't know that much about it. This is all about the new Quentin Tarantino movie, Hateful Eight. So I'm getting these in the mail now through that service I was talking about. So I'm very excited to get some of this information. I saw an ad via Facebook for the new AFI tribute. American Film Institute is giving its Lifetime Achievement Award to Steve Martin. And I think I've talked about this before. Let me put this down here. Oh, God, you're looking at my table. Oh, there. Wait. Why is it not doing it? Okay. Did I talk about this before? This Steve Martin set is something I got. It's on DVD, not Blu-ray. So I've been watching it on my computer, but it's all the TV stuff that he did way back when in the mid to late 70s, before he started making movies, before he made The Jerk, and then started his movie career. So it's some stand-up specials, TV specials he did for NBC, 78, 80, and then just like guest appearances, music videos, the King Tut music video, stuff on SNL. I worship Steve Martin. I think he's a genius. And so I was really happy to get that set. I'm working my way through it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the AFI tribute. The little snippets, they've been putting up like little 45-second clips, have been hysterical. Sarah Silverman and Tina Fey and people talking about him, and you know, he's just, I can't say enough good things. All right, somebody's Turkish. Wait. Deniz, I am Turkish. Ah, cool. Well, good luck, man. I hope you make it to Canada. Canada's a great place. They're hosting the Women's World Cup right now, so I'm getting a good look at around the cities. We're there in Winnipeg and Edmonton and a really tiny place out in New Brunswick. And they're in, of course, Montreal and Vancouver. Vancouver's a wonderful city. That's the one I've been to. So yeah, good luck with that journey. I'm always impressed with Europeans who, you know, just freely adapt English, and then yet, you know, in like an Asian language, and then of course can also speak their native language, Turkish or whatever it happens to be, so much more readily bilingual than I am. No, you'll never see sumo in the Olympics. Just the same reason you'll even kendo, which you know, it does have people that play it, and lots of other places will never be in the Olympics. Kendo's too subjective. The rules are not clear enough about what is a point and what isn't a point. It's way too much up to the discretion of the referee, and you can't really, or the referees. There's usually 3 of them in kendo. So that will never be a sport in the Olympics. And sumo, there's just not enough people that play it other than in Japan. There's obviously foreigners that come over here that do well in the sport. And the sport is obviously dominated by foreign rikishi, so it sounds a bit weird, but I mean, I just don't think there's enough other countries that would have sumo teams or, you know, sumo, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in the Olympics. They'll probably do some kind of demonstration, or it'll be part of the opening ceremony, or there'll be a spotlight on sumo. I mean, obviously, I don't know when the Olympics are in 2020, but there could be a sumo box show at the same time. But if it was in July, it would be in Nagoya, not in Tokyo, so that's kind of interesting. But anyway, uh-oh, I hated Jurassic World. Jurassic World, good monster movie, but not as good as Jurassic Park. Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to be as good as Jurassic Park. But okay. Thank you for no spoilers. I appreciate that. All right, 10:57. I really should get out of here. You know, where does 57 minutes go? I don't know, because you guys are so delightful. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. I will have my review of Mad Max Fury Road for you, because I will have gone and seen it. I'm going to open my delicious premium. You see that there? Premium little chocolatey chippy cookie here, and have a snack here while I look how tiny that cookie is. It's so Japan. Individually wrapped, of course. You get like 8 of these in a package. While I listen to Hiko blather on about whatever Hiko's going to tell us tonight. So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the thumbs up. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. See ya.